As you've seen from the title, this is going to be my first ever Friday Reads video. A lot of people do these Friday Reads differently. I'm going to take inspiration, steal Christie's format of doing this. It's more like a weekly wrap-up kind of thing. If you want to watch The Master at Work, Christie's channel, What's Christie Reading, will be linked down below. That's where all the links live. I would like to preface this by saying that the previous week was Mental Illness Awareness Week in America. We have different dates for it in the UK, and Emma from Emma Books asked people who watched her channel to take part this week by reading a book that has mental illness issues in it. It wasn't a readathon as such, just making yourself more aware of the issues of mental illness. On that note, I read a couple of books that focused on mental illness this week, and I'm gonna talk about them. The first book I finished this week was Identical by Ellen Hopkins. This book was such a hard book to read. As most of you know, Ellen Hopkins writes about really tough topics, some to do with abuse, others mental issues, drugs, and topics that are not usually mainstream in the book world. How do I talk about this book without spoiling it? It was amazing, but so difficult to read. It's basically about a family, mum, dad, two twin sisters, dealing with their life after they had a car accident. The mum was severely injured in the accident, and with that she kind of pulls away from the family, leaves the two sisters in care of their father, who is kind of strict, and other things. It focuses on the two twin sisters who are completely different and how they deal with their parents being estranged from them, and issues with themselves and the outside world and all the other stuff. I can't really go into detail about it because I don't want to spoil anyone, but it is an amazing read. If you can deal with harsh topics, then I suggest you read it. If you're triggered by certain things such as eating disorders, abuse, it's probably not the best book to actually read. Moving on to the next one that I finished this week. Christy and myself buddy read pretty much each week. And because of Mental Illness Awareness Week, we decided to read Winter Girls by Laurie Halse Anderson. This book focuses on anorexia and how a girl is dealing with her anorexia through recovery and relapse. If you have read any other books by Laurie Halse Anderson, you will know that she is an amazing writer. Her use of language and how real her characters are just pull you in to the story wholeheartedly, like you actually know these people, and for that reason it is a tough book to read. But I also think more people should read it. I think it will shine a light on things that teenagers go through. I think it would definitely help parents of teenagers to read this book. It is absolutely heartbreaking, but it is a good book. Then I picked up The Good Luck of Right Now by Matthew Quick. I didn't expect this one to deal with mental illness issues, but I should have realised that it would because it's Matthew Quick. This book follows Bartholomew. He's lived with his mother his whole life and she passes away. The whole book is kind of told in a letter format. For his coping mechanism for dealing with the death of his mum, he writes letters to a certain famous person. He tells this famous person about his day and things that have happened, and he kind of builds up this fake friendship with this person in his head, and it's told so beautifully. It's completely seamless. It's so good. Again, it's another hard book to read because of the topics that it focuses on, but it is another wonderful read. I highly enjoyed it. Reading 3 amazing books, but they focused on such dark things that I was like, no, I need happy back in my life. So I reread Magnus Chase and The Hammer of Thor. I obviously read this when it came out, and what's the better way to get happy back in my life than read it again? As you guys know, I am a Rick Riordan fiend. I love all of his works, and this book was not a letdown. It was another straight 5 stars for me. It's just wonderful. And at the end of this book, I was so excited. I wanted it to be next year already. If you've read it, you will understand how nerd happy it makes you. Roll on next year when I can have another Magnus Chase book in my fingers. Whilst me and Christy read Winter Girls, and we talked about it this Wednesday, we also chose our next book, which was Unaddressed in Blood by Kendall Blake. Granted, she already started it before me, but she held off so I could catch up, and I ended up finishing it before her, but that's beside the point. We chose this book because it's October, we want the kind of like scary stories. This one, it does have its scary elements, but it wasn't really scary or creepy for me personally. But that being said, I still enjoyed the book. The first half was kind of like, yeah, and then the second half of the book, there was a lot more reveal, and you're like, ooh, what's gonna happen? Ooh, what's gonna happen? It could have been better, but I still liked it. This is why I don't do full book reviews. I kinda suck. But hey, I'm giving it my best here. Next, I finished reading Nevernight by J. Christoph. Kelly from Wonderland Books, Linky's in the thing, and I were buddy reading this. We got like halfway through, and then Empire of Storms happened, so we both had to take a break from this and read all of the Throne of Glass series, because that's what you do. And then obviously other books happened. Kelly and myself had a little conversation of like, we really should get back to this. I finished this last night / this morning, and it was so good. The first half of this is a little slow because obviously it's a whole new world, so it has to go into the history of that and the characters and what's driving them. I will just read you the blurb because it will explain it a lot better than I can. But then technically I won't be giving you any spoilers because it's on the blurb. Okay. Destined to destroy empires, Mia Covere is only 10 years old when she is given her first lesson in death. 6 years later, the child raised in shadows takes her first step towards keeping the promise she made on the day that she lost everything. But the chance to strike against such powerful enemies will be fleeting. So if she is to have her revenge, Mia must become a weapon without equal. She must prove herself against the deadliest of friends and enemies, and survive the tutelage of murderers, liars, and demons at the heart of a murder cult. The Red Church is no ordinary school, but Mia is no ordinary student. The shadows love her, and they drink her fear. This book was so good. So good. So good. I loved it. There was a part in this book towards the end that I did not see coming, and neither did the person in the book, and I was just like, oh no, no, no! But I had to do that internally because my other half were asleep, and that was a struggle. The struggle is real. Please, if you get the chance, go pick up this book and read it. The language is a little weird, but you will get used to it, and as you go through, you will just become one with the language and love it and need more and more and more and more. It's so good. They're all the books that I read this week, so let's move on to what I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading Dust by Patricia Cornwell. Obviously, it's another Kay Scarpetta novel. I can't really remember what number this is in the series, but it's at least over 20. I'm enjoying it so far. There's a few flashbacks in it, which we don't normally get from Patricia Cornwell, so I'm wondering if that's going to happen throughout the book or it's just been a certain point to really drive home what is happening in the story right this second. I may have it finished by next week. I don't know. That's the only thing that I'm currently reading, even though it says different on my Goodreads. So now onto the books that I'm planning to read. I'm planning on reading My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brodie Ashton, and Jodie Meadows. I put this as currently reading on my Goodreads because I did pick it up after I finished Nevernight, and then I was like, I'm kind of tired, so it's probably not the best thing because this is our Ready Set Read book club pick for this month, and I want to be making notes and things while I'm reading this, so when we have our live show I have things to say other than I don't remember. So I put this down and that's when I picked up Dust. If you want to join us this month with reading My Lady Jane, please pick it up. All links in the information box down below. Because Christy and myself finished Unaddressed in Blood, we are just moving straight on to Girl of Nightmares by Kendall Blake, the second one in the Anna series, and we will be chatting about that on Wednesday. And now, the last book I am planning on reading this month will be a UBC pick, because I've kind of been neglecting this and I have bought new books and not put them in here yet. So let's pick a book from my unread bookshelf challenge. I like this one. Okay. Get in there. Oh. This is Blankets by Craig Thompson, which is over on my other set of shelves. So it was on the other shelf, but Chris went over and picked it out for me because he loved me. I have no idea what this book is about except that it's got snow. A lot of people tend to read this during the winter time because snow. Again, this is one of Chris's books and he really loves it, so we know how well that went last time, but hopefully I will like this a lot more than I liked Box of Delights. It is a graphic novel, so it's black and white. It shouldn't take too long to read. The art style is very simplistic but also really beautiful. I'm excited to get into this because I've been told I should read it so many times, but I have just never picked it up, so yay! That's all my Friday reads, chatting stuff done. Hopefully I didn't do too bad, and hopefully I will get better with time. Fingers crossed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it that all important thumb. Don't forget to comment, whether it be talking about the books that you've read this past week or the books that I'm choosing to read. As always, the t-shirt I'm wearing today is this one. Watching guys, and I'll see you later. Bye!
Do I ever say I don't support you?
You support me all the time. I fall over quite a lot. Squat more.